The most expensive hiring mistake isn't choosing the wrong person. It's not asking the questions that would have exposed it. Because here's how it actually happens. You made the hire. On paper, they looked perfect. The resume checked every box. The interviews went smoothly. Everyone agreed. No red flags, no hesitation. And then about 3 months in, you feel it. Something's off. They don't collaborate the way you expected. They struggle when things aren't clearly defined. They slow decisions instead of accelerating them. They need more direction than you planned for. Now you're managing around them. Extra meetings, re-explaining context, adjusting expectations, and quietly, you're preparing to restart the search. That's the part no one talks about. A bad hire can cost 30 to 50% of that person's annual salary, and that's just the visible cost. What hurts more is the invisible damage, the lost momentum, drained team morale, leadership focus pulled away from growth, and trust erosion you now have to repair. And this is exactly why I teach what I call the leverage interview. 5 strategic questions that show you how someone actually works before you make the offer. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to ask to protect your time, your team, and your business. I'm Renee Fry, and this is Building Your High-Performing Team, where we help you hire smarter, reduce turnover, drive business results so you can finally sleep at night. If you want proven strategies to hire better and build teams that last, hit subscribe. We drop new insights every week. Let me be really clear about what I mean by the leverage interview. This isn't a new type of interview. It's a behavioral-based interview done the right way. Most companies say they use behavioral questions, but then they stop at the surface. The leverage interview is about how you ask, how you probe, and how you listen. Instead of asking for opinions or hypotheticals, you ask candidates to walk you through real situations. What actually happened? What they specifically did, and what the result was. That's where the leverage comes from, because past behavior under real pressure is still the best predictor of future performance. And let's say the quiet part out loud. Traditional interviews are broken. We keep asking, tell me about yourself. What are your strengths and your weaknesses? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? And candidates keep delivering polished answers because they've rehearsed them. They know what sounds right. They know what hiring managers want to hear. That doesn't make them dishonest. It makes them prepared. The real problem is this. Traditional interviews assess capability, not compatibility. They tell you whether someone can do the job, but not whether they'll succeed inside your environment with your leadership style, on your team, under your constraints. And that's why nearly 70% of bad hires fail due to behavior, culture, personality, not skill gaps. Most hiring mistakes don't happen because someone lacked experience. They happen because leaders didn't uncover how someone learns, how they handle pressure, how they navigate conflict, how they actually make decisions. And before we get into the questions, there's something important I want to address, because I know most of you don't interview all day like my team and I do. You're running the business. You're leading people. You're juggling priorities. So here's the mindset shift. You have to get comfortable interrupting candidates. That's not being rude. That's being responsible. Your job in an interview isn't to be polite. It's to be clear. If you let someone talk in circles or stay high level or avoid specifics, you're the one taking on the risk. Behavioral interviews only work if you slow people down and you go deeper. The easiest way to do that is to tee it up before the interview even starts. Here's a simple script you can use at the beginning of every interview. You just say, I'm going to ask you behavioral-based interview questions today. What I'm looking for is the situation, what you specifically did, and the result. And I may interrupt you at times to make sure I'm getting the information that I need. If you need me to repeat the question, just let me know. That 1 minute does 2 things. First, it gives you permission to interrupt and probe. And second, it filters candidates immediately. Strong operators appreciate structure. Weak candidates get uncomfortable fast, and that tells you something. If you're building or upgrading an operations leadership team, I've also put together an operations leader hiring guide that walks you through what to look for beyond the resume, especially at the director, VP, and executive level. It's linked in the description if you want to grab it. Now, let's get into the 5 questions. Question number 1. Tell me about a time you had to learn something you didn't know how to do. What was your process? Skills expire, tools change, markets shift. What you're really hiring for now is learning speed, ownership, adaptability. Listen for 3 things. Growth mindset. Do they lean into discomfort or do they avoid it? Problem solving. Do they own the gap or wait for direction? Resilience. How do they respond when they're not immediately good? Strong answers show ownership, structure, feedback, and follow through. Weak answers sound passive or outsourced. And remember, if you're getting a vague answer here, interrupt them. Ask, what did you specifically do? That's where the leverage is. Question number 2, describe a situation where you disagreed with your boss or a key stakeholder. How did you handle it? This tells you how safe it is to work with them. You're assessing emotional maturity, communication, discipline, respect for leadership. Strong answers include data, direct conversation, and respect for the final call. Weak answers focus on blame, ego, or being right. That separates collaborators from liabilities. Question number 3. Tell me about a significant mistake you made at work. What did you learn? Everyone fails. What matters is ownership. You're listening for accountability, self-awareness, behavior change. Strong answers sound like, I owned it, I fixed it, I changed how I operate. Weak answers sound like, it wasn't really my fault. I don't make mistakes. If they can't own failure, they won't own outcomes. Question number 4. What type of work environment or management style brings out your best work? It isn't about perfection. It's about alignment. Ask yourself, do they know what they need? Can I realistically provide that? Are they adaptable or rigid? Strong answers show self-awareness and flexibility. Weak answers signal resistance to feedback or collaboration. Your job isn't to impress them. It's to decide whether this relationship actually works. And question number 5. Tell me about a time you had to prioritize between 2 conflicting demands. What did you do and how did you decide? This is the business judgment question. You're evaluating decision frameworks, strategic thinking, pressure handling. Strong answers show clear trade-offs and impact-based thinking. Weak answers rely on brute force. I just worked late and did everything. That's effort, not leadership. 3 rules to remember. Listen for stories, not polish. Pay attention to what's missing. Measure against your values. Skill won't save a cultural mismatch. A simple scoring lens helps. Clarity, evidence, and alignment. At TalentQ, we were advising a company during final interviews. A company nearly hired a senior leader. Great resume, great interview presence, and when asked about disagreement, they defaulted to avoidance rather than engagement. The company passed, and I agreed with that decision. When it comes to hiring, if it isn't a clear hell yes, any hesitation is your answer. It's simply not the right person. They hired someone with less experience who's since been promoted twice. That bad hire never happened because the questions did the work. Hiring isn't about filling roles. It's about protecting momentum. These 5 questions won't just help you hire better. They help you avoid regret, reduce turnover, and build teams that scale. If this resonated and you found it valuable, please share it with another hiring leader who's serious about building stronger teams. And if I can help you, that's what I'm here for. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. We drop fresh insights every week to help you hire smarter and lead stronger. And if you're ready to fill a critical role or strengthen your leadership pipeline, visit talentq.net, where exceptional companies meet exceptional people. I'm Renee Fry, and this has been Building Your High-Performing Team from the recruiters who know your business, TalentQ. When your team is dialed in, that's when leadership feels effortless. Cheers for now, and I'll see you in the next one.